The answer is you actually shouldn't start a business, to tell you the truth. I know it might come as a surprise to you, but for most people who ask me this question, I always tell them, don't start a business. I've been, I'm only about 34, very young. Never went to high school. I've had many different interesting businesses. I've only been in the online space for about 10 years, only 10 years, a decade. But I made a fucking shit ton of mistakes. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, did I make a lot of mistakes. And I wish I've had people in the past let me put it this way. I wish that I've had certain people in the past, I want to say mentors, but more or less people to guide me so I don't make less mistakes. You know, there's a really good saying from Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett, where a smart man learns from his mistakes, a wise man learns from others. And so that's why I always recommend people that they don't start a business. And the reason why is twofold. Number one, I think a lot of people really do underestimate the responsibilities of running a startup. They really underestimate how difficult it is. If you look at statistics, most startups fail. If you look at how much mental stress there is, family stress, physical stress, I've gone through all of that. There's a lot of stress. If you look at suicide rate, if you look at all these statistics, it's fucking suicidal to start a startup. Suicidal. Specifically, if you're also raising VC funding. And you got to go, pre-seed, Series A, Series B, Series C, and you have the pressure from your investors. It's unbearable majority of the time. Anyway, so what I like to say is don't start a startup or don't go into business right away. And instead, what you need to do is build up your war chest of skills. Because Gary Vee talks about this too. I think one of the easiest ways to get best of both worlds. So to get skills in the startup ecosystem, and there's many different ecosystems. I'll just group startup together. So you got the tech space, you have the e-commerce space, right? You have the agriculture, you have science, you have beauty, you have health and fitness. You have all these different verticals within startups, right? I'm just going to group them together. I think one of the best things to do is join a startup. There's two reasons why I think it's really, really healthy to join a startup on your journey of starting your own business, if you've never had one before. This is specifically if you've never done one before, because if you have, then you obviously know what the fuck I'm talking about. So you join a startup. This is what happens. A, you get a guaranteed salary, pretty much, right? If the startup is well funded, or if the startup has a real fucking business, as it should be. I should make a whole different video about how I think most VC models are broken, where 99% of the time they don't even get profitable, and it's all next Ponzi scheme, Series A, Series B to the Series Z, and then dump it on the public. Anyways, so you find a startup that's heavily funded or has more or less profitable, and now you have a guaranteed salary, right? You have a guaranteed paycheck that you don't have to stress about, right? You have whatever you're getting paid. Let's say $60K a year to work for the startup. That's number one. Finance is always the biggest stress. So now you have finances out the window. You don't have to worry about it. You have finances. And if it's a really well-funded startup, you got benefits too. Most of the time, it's not benefits at the beginning. Number two, super important, is you get to learn really fast. You get to make mistakes on other people's dime. You get to be in a very quick, agile, hopefully fun environment that pushes you. I mean, really pushes you. Because if you're working for a startup that's VC funded, they need growth. They need to hit their metrics. They need to hit their KPIs. And so you'll be part of a team that's pushing hard. And I mean, really pushing. And so you now have the opportunity to learn new skills. You have the opportunity to experiment. You pretty much have the opportunity to do anything you want to do as long as you're delivering. And so you learn all these skills. You spend 2 years, 3 years with the startup. And hopefully, if the startup's fast growing, VC funded, maybe you get some equity in that company if you have a good vesting schedule, etc. And so you're learning skills, you're building your network, you're fucking getting paid, and you have zero downside. I mean, zero fucking downside. And that's why I always recommend people, if they've never started a startup or a business and they're thinking of entering the startup scene, is to join one first to really see if it's all cracked out to be. Because I've had a lot of people who've started one and they realize, fuck this shit, man. Then they might have a family. It's big difference, man, when you have, a son and a daughter and a wife, as opposed to being single by yourself, right? The responsibilities, right? The huge fucking different two different worlds. And so that's my advice. Join a startup, get the skills, get paid. And through that process, you can then have ideas through that process. Then you really realize, oh, these are the mistakes. This is what I should do. This is what I shouldn't do. And then you can figure out where you want to go. And there's so many different angles of startups. You can build simple startups, like you join e-commerce where you don't need that much funding. Maybe you get some loans. Maybe you do some angel rounds. Maybe you go the crazy route where you decide to do VC funding, where you have a big tech idea, where you go get your pre-seed and Series A 5 million, then maybe 25 million Series B or C. Honestly, if you've never ever started a startup before, that's my humble advice, okay? And that's something that I wish someone told me when I was younger. But I'm a stubborn, old fucking mule or a goat. I see myself as a goat. Fuck, man, did I do a lot of mistakes. And I don't want you guys to do these mistakes. It's just the pressure and the stress is ridiculous. But get the skills, man. It's the fucking skills that matters. And it's understanding what you're getting yourself into. It's building your network. And then become crazy, man. Then once you've done that and you really then understand what you're getting yourself into, dive in, right? Go in, get good partners, hopefully you get good investors. That's really important. A lot of times investors will fuck you in the ass, tell you the truth. I've seen it all the time. But then you get lucky, get amazing ones or angels that support you from day one till, day one till day 300 or until hopefully day exit, right? And then go at it, go hard, build your startup, man. But that's my advice for anybody out there considering startup. Join one first, get paid, learn the skills, and then start your own. All right, guys, if you have questions for me about this, about startups or whatever, leave a comment below this video. And oh yeah, by the way, subscribe to my channel. All right, there's a subscribe button somewhere. I don't know, down here, up here, wherever YouTube puts it. But subscribe so you can get more daily updates. Peace.